Alright, so I got my coffee here, and we're going to be talking about the 30 days of making mini comics challenge, and just looking back at this challenge and these past 30 days. So just a quick recap. I already did this in the recap video, but um, just might as well just go over it also. I completed 3 mini comics, and I'm still working on another one, the event comic. And another one that it's roughed out, so I'm not sure when that one's gonna be finished, but I'm gonna work on it after I finish the event, and I still gotta find a name for it. But I'm gonna talk about that one a little bit more. I've dropped hints here and there. I might have even actually talked about it. I know I recorded a few things, but some I just kind of left at the cutting room floor. So anyway, so talk about specifically some of these mini comics. First, I want to show this one. So this is one I wasn't even planning on telling it, not in this form, and I just did this kind of just for fun. I had some index cards with me. I was somewhere where I just kind of took them out and just did some doodles. I decided to just tell this quick little story, and this is actually I think in these 30 days I did 3 slice of life comics, or I'm working on more slice of life comics, and so this one is about me, and there is a link in the description where you can read this for free. I already did all the art, but I printed out here, and there's a link, so you can just check that out for free. I'm gonna put that up on Gumroad, but you can also get it on my Ko-fi account if you just want to support. If you want this physical copy, then just hit me up in DMs, or let me know, and we'll see. I might send you a few a few different ones. But yeah, this one, like I said, this is actually something that happened to me. This was a part of my life. So if you've read it, at least read the beginning, I think some people kind of missed it at first, because I did change the name a little bit, but just mental health center. So what that translates to is a mental institution. So you have to read this and kind of figure out who I am in this one, but I did spend some time in a mental institution, and that's something that I don't really know how to talk about that or bring that up in casual conversation, so I just made a comic. I made a little comic, and I think it's funny, even though it's like something real. It's something that I could look back on and laugh at, and going with the. I'm gonna title this video, or actually I'm gonna put it in the thumbnails. Made the hard way, made by hand with ink, sweat, and tears, or sweat, ink, and tears, because yeah, all of that went into making these comics. I mean, this one was I thought it was funny. I mean, and I've shown it to a few people, just kind of testing it, and they thought it was hilarious, and so I dropped it for free in the link, so you can check that out. Here's the Captain Courage. So I redid this. I redid this as in digital, added screen tones. So I like how these came out. But the other comic that I kind of want to talk about, most of these, I mean, goes into the tears, and the sweat, and just all the ink I used to to make these. But this challenge, just doing this challenge for these 30 days, I didn't expect for the experience that I had, and it's gonna be different for everyone. But just writing out all these stories, because I kind of ended up using this as therapy. Um, and oh, speaking of of which, but this is a comic that I did about. It's more for kind of like a flyer for the support group that I'm a part of. And even though I'm in the support group, I'm a facilitator. Um, I still, I still, go through it. I still, have to have those moments, those days. Um, that's why I make comics. A part of is therapy. And well, I like comics. I like to make comics, and if I can use stuff that's happened to me or stuff I've gone through and make a story out of it, and if that can help someone, then I'll do it. So yeah. So this is a comic for Is God, and this was I did this during the start of COVID, or like right maybe like well, not in the middle because COVID's still around, but in last year, like in the middle of last year, so the masks. So I can just use that as a metaphor. But yeah, like I end up just kind of using these these 30 days as therapy, and it turns out I needed it. For a few months, just a lot of things. I mean, I think most people that watch my channel, because I talk about this openly, even though some people tell me I shouldn't, or I've got comments that I use these that I'm doing it for pity. No, I just don't hide. I don't like to shy away from it, and I don't want to hide it because that's kind of how it gets worse. If I don't talk about it without fear of some kind of stigma, then it's just gonna get worse, and that actually was what was happening for a couple of months, where I was just kind of holding a lot of things in, and I'm gonna put a spoiler in the beginning of this because this might trigger people, this might upset people, so so it'll be in the thumbnail. But yeah, like I mean, just a lot of stuff. I mean, and I've talked about some of them. I've put up tribute videos, memorial videos. I did lose my mother just about the start of last year, in February, and so February came. Also, her birthday was in January. Mother's Day just passed. So it's very, very fresh. And a lot of these, we in the support group that I go to, we actually call these anniversaries. So they're trauma anniversaries. They're events that you know when they come, they're going to be, they could trigger something. So you can't assess it. But what I was doing, I was just kind of like, I would just maybe mention it and then just kind of push it away. And turns out I need to actually talk about it or deal with it in some way. But yeah, and I just had different things, but just life in general. But so I ended up kind of using these 30 days as therapy, and I wasn't even planning on to. I just kind of I wanted to finish Captain Goggles and Masked Woman. I wanted to get too many comics of those done. That was my goal. I ended up doing slice of life comics for some reason, and that just kind of brought out a lot of things. That's where the tears and even some of the sweat comes into play. But yeah, I mean, and one of the comics that I'm doing that I'm working on, I have here on the computer, or at least part of it. And I've mentioned it before. I've shown the pages before, but just we'll look at them again, and I'll talk a little bit more about them. So I resized all the pages, shrunk them down, and fit them here on this this layout. And I used a template to make sure that I had everything. So I have actually I used two templates. So I used this one that I found online, and this one that was made by someone on the AAA Discord, so it's in there somewhere. So this is a comic that I'm doing. I've been calling it the event just because I didn't really want to give out too much information, but just if you've seen the pages, you get what's happening and what's gonna happen. And I think some people kind of like figured out like, oh, it's about me, and like, so this is something that happened to me. So when I was 8 years old, and excuse me if I tear up. This was bringing back a lot of memories. But when I was 8 years old, I was hit by a car. I was running in the street to go visit a friend. Anyway, so I was running and I was hit by a car. And that was just a catalyst for a lot of things. Just growing up from that point in time to even now, because a few years later, that's when I started getting symptoms of epilepsy, and I didn't know what it was. That's when it started kind of being more prominent, and I didn't know what it was. I didn't know how to deal with it. So this comic is actually going to help me tell that story. Right now, I just want to tell this story. Just kind of get it out there, put it out there. I don't know how it's going to be received, but I'm just going to put it out there. So I was hit by a car. Went to the hospital. I mean, there's stuff I don't remember, but I remember being in the hospital, and I also remember part of the ambulance ride. I don't remember too much, but I remember my mom was there. So I am going to show that in a page or a couple of panels where just my mom is in the hospital talking to the doctor. And some of this I'm just kind of piecing together just from what my mom had told me, growing up. Once we knew what this was, because I did hide the epilepsy for a long time, for a couple of years, because I didn't know what it was. And a part of that, because I didn't know what it was, and because when I was 8, I was hit by a car, I would walk, and I still walk a little crooked, and it was kind of known that I was hit. Well, part of this I'm going to put in the comic, in this comic. So, but needless to say, that was a traumatic moment that I still carry with me, and just being able to do this comic has actually helped me a lot. And doing comics like this, just kind of getting this out there. And if me telling the story, and I'm going to be doing the comic for the epilepsy, so I'm going to talk a little bit more about, I'll work on that later on, since I finish some of these stories that I'm doing. But that is a story I want to tell. I do kind of want to do a little awareness comic for epilepsy. So I am going to use this, and if that comic can help people, if that can kind of like if that can shed some light on epilepsy and mental health and how we perceive mental health, then I'll gladly relive these experiences if just one person is helped by this. But yeah, and whoever says comics is for kids, they don't know what they're talking about. And so I do want to thank Joshua Kemble, because he did his comic, which I have here. 2 stories, and it's about mental health, and suicide. It tells you right here he was having suicidal thoughts. Actually, I think this cover here is him at the bridge. So that's someone that's actually helped me to kind of like do these stories, because I know he was kind of pushing me to do um, how I survived the Texas freeze that we had here, and just from doing that, and so like, well, I can tap into uh, more things in my life and make a comic out of them, and some of them will be fun, some of them, it's stuff like this. This is a story that I've been wanting to tell. I just didn't know how to tell it. And I didn't know if it would work as a comic. I was thinking about just writing a book, just talking about stuff like that, like the car crash, and then just dealing with epilepsy. Um, Not car crash. I was hit by a car. I wasn't in a car. And also the stigma that comes from mental health. And when you talk about mental health, you can get labeled uh, as crazy, or other words, which I won't say here, but or that you're doing it for pity or attention. Like I said before, I don't shy away from it for this reason. Sometimes I do kind of. It does come off as I'm kind of making fun of it. I'm not really making fun of people that battle with things like this. I'm kind of either making fun of myself or making fun of the situation and just laughing at it, because I'd rather laugh and and also work through it than just kind of like dwell on it. But and all that came out of just wanting to do a 30-day challenge where I kind of focus on just doing comics and getting some stories out. And this was the one of the first ones I had started, Texas Freeze. So this one kind of, no pun intended, it snowballed from here. Uh, and I am going to be also working on the Captain Goggles and MASKUP, and also I started doing work on the Captain Courage story that was in the 9 vote, so I am continuing that. Uh, so just to sum it all up, summarize it all up, this challenge, like, I know it helped me, and I don't say that because I created this challenge. Um, I just wanted to make some comics, but I mean, I wasn't expecting this, and it's helped me. I don't know. I mean, if you do this challenge, or when you do this challenge, if you're gonna have the same experience that I did, hopefully you just get some comics done. And that was the main goal, just to get some comics uh, uh, started and finished. I still have some that are unfinished, but I got 3 that are finished, and that's nothing to sneeze at. So I know Keith Harper did this challenge, and I know he said it's helped him get out of a rut, and he did a video where he talked a little bit about it. And again, that video is in the description. It's also in the comments. You can check that out. Oh, I do want to say this. I don't know where I'm gonna splice this in, but I'm gonna put this in somewhere in the video. My motto: make comics, not excuses. I was going to do a video just talking about the philosophy behind that, um, but I'll touch a little bit on that. I use that as my personal motto because I don't know if you could tell from this video that I think I have the excuses, but I'd rather not use them. Part of make comics not excuses is like there are legitimate reasons why you wouldn't make a comic, or anything. It doesn't really have to be about comics. It's just about anything in general. And I do encourage breaks. I do take breaks. I take breaks when I'm making comics. I work on them for a certain amount of time. Then I take a break, and then I'll work on them again. Uh, and then I'll just do stuff around the house, or do stuff that I need to get done. But at least I did something. So that's part of the no excuses. It's also pushing through that and persevering. Whatever it is that you're going through, whatever's going on. I mean, like, I made a comic about depression, and sometimes I still I still battle with that, but I'm able to kind of push that more, and I have people that I talk to. Sometimes it is people that I've met online, like Keith Harper, Anna Raub, a few other people that I've kind of had these conversations with. But yeah, I mean, I use myself an example. So if I can do it, you can do it. So that's part of the make comics, not excuses. Just kind of push through it. But also, take a break. Take care of yourself. This was a pretty interesting 30 days. I really don't regret any of it. It took me in a whole different direction than I planned on. But you know what? The end of these 30 days, I got some stories out. Uh, able to kind of like not just look back at these 30 days, but look back at certain events in my life that brought me here, and just truly learning to let go. And like I said, I don't know if you do this challenge or any challenge, but if you're gonna do a comic and if you're gonna do about your life, be prepared to relive some things. But good or bad, if that story can help someone, then I say do it. And also, if you want to get a cool coffee mug like this, there is a link in the description to Anna Raub's Teespring store, where you can get this mug, also get some shirts and other mugs. She's got some other cool mugs on there. But so check out her store, and if you're not subscribed, go subscribe. You know what? Even if you are subscribed, go to her last video and just comment something nice. Just tell her she's doing a good job as a host of the TuracoCreativeCast, which is another place where you can find me and Anna on the TuracoCreativeCast. There is a link in the description below. We live stream every Monday at 9 p.m. Central. That's when we usually stream. So thanks for watching. I hope you liked this video. I hope if you did this challenge, let me know in the comments below. And I hope you liked this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Make comics, not excuses.